Hello, my name is Edward Cody. I want to tell you a story about when I was young, just a little boy, really. I went to the circus, the big circus that came to town that year, back in 1983. We didn't have a lot of circuses and events coming through our town back then. It was just a quiet, peaceful town. But we certainly wouldn't forget this circus. The railroad car pulled up and started unloading. Me and my brother Stephen watched the carnies unload the truck all day. At some point, my sister Sarah came and called us home just before dark. She was a few years older than us and such a tattletale. Mom and Dad said, "You're not allowed to go to the carnival. You're too young. And besides, all those circus folks are weirdos." Me and my brother Stephen didn't listen to her. Our minds were already racing with visions of clowns in costumes, bearded ladies, cotton candy, and carousels. We made a plan to sneak out that night with a wink and a nod. Why, we might even just run away with the circus. You never know. Yes, the carny life for me. "Stephen, wake up. They're all asleep." I slid the window open. We climbed down the rain gutter, and we're off. We raced across the field like a lightning bolt. We followed the train tracks through the forest by moonlight, then finally the faint glow of the circus in the clearing. Naturally, we didn't have any money to get in, so we snuck under a flap of a tent. We found ourselves in a mysterious hall of mirrors, which seemed to have no end. A maze within a maze. We raced from one hall to the next, to another, looking at our infinite reflections and laughing. It must have been 5 or 10 minutes later, I finally noticed Stephen was in a different hallway. Perhaps he had taken a different turn. All I could see was him on the other side of the mirror. I told him to keep going and we'd meet up eventually. After all, it's just a stupid hall of mirrors. How big could it be? We kept on wandering and talking, every once in a while, me checking to see where Stephen was at. "Stephen? Yeah, I'm over here." "Still there, I see." "Of course. Where else would I be? Stuck in this hall of mirrors, apparently." His voice and footsteps kept getting fainter. Eventually, I'd call out, "Stephen?" But I couldn't hear anything. I really wasn't sure where he was anymore, or even where I was, if you can imagine such a thing. Finally, I noticed a person down the end of the hallway. I called out to them, Hey, what's going on? You work here?" Nobody answered. I continued down the hallway towards the shadowy figure, closer and closer, but not a word. I reached out and poked it. It turned out to just be a large, stupid clown mannequin. A door opened at the end of the tunnel and let me out into the carnival. Stephen must already be out here, probably laughing at me for being stuck in there for so long. "Stephen? Stephen! Hey, Stephen, where are you?" I spent several hours looking for Stephen all over the carnival. I think I had been everywhere. I eventually had to admit that I wasn't qualified to find him. Hey miss, can you help me? I lost my brother. Last time I saw him, he was in that hall of mirrors over there. Where did it go? I looked back down the aisle and I couldn't see the hall of mirrors that I'd come out of. It was as if it didn't exist in the first place. Eventually, the police got involved and searched the entire carnival and interviewed everyone that worked there. Nobody ever did find my brother. All these years later, and no hall of mirrors ever existed on that site. There was something evil about that circus. It swallowed my brother whole and ate him alive. That same night, there was some unexplained lights in the sky. Not sure I believe in that sort of thing all these years later, but maybe I should. You've just listened to episode 3 of The Sky People by Joseph J McAllister. Tune in and subscribe to hear more episodes and strange encounters on The Sky People. This week's episode featured the voice of Joseph J McAllister and art by Midjourney Parlor Trick 13 on Instagram.